Well, folks, welcome to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical. Thanks for coming over here today and checking us out and checking out this particular video on kind of a unique blade. We're looking here today at the Loyal Blades TUSK. The TUSK is a knife that is designed as a stainless steel midweight survival knife option. This blade is from a Kickstart company, which is kind of cool, giving them the opportunity to show their wares here at the channel and giving them an opportunity to check it out, because they reached out to me almost a year and a half ago when they were still in design phase and said, hey, we've been watching a lot of your videos. We like a lot of the things that you point out in knives, and that midweight survival knife size is what we're trying to shoot for, and we'd like to send this knife to you once it comes into production. I said, sure, let's give it a shot. So they sent this over to us from Spain, so that's really cool. We will have links in the description below. You are able to pick these up both here in the States and I believe worldwide as well. So we will have links over to their site. We're going to do a full litany and review today from a really small company that's just trying to get the legs underneath them and make a survival knife, a midway survival knife in a stainless steel setup versus high carbon, because there's a lot of high carbon out there, but there's just not a lot of stainless steel knives in this size range that could compete and do a lot of tasks for you. So that's why I'm excited today, is not only to check out what this company has done and what a stainless steel midweight survival knife can do for us. So let's go ahead, take a look at the TUSK and see what it can do. Well, let's talk about the actual business end of the knife. Now, obviously full tank construction, we are looking at 440C steel or N690, they're basically the same. That's what they're using. They say 440C, and I don't know if they're just calling it that for the US market, but they're doing a great Rockwell on it. Good heat treat from everything I'm seeing. It's not chipping, rolling with all the really hard batoning and chopping that we've been doing. They give you this very slight recurve in the blade in a high saber grind with a convex micro bevel here. So that's got everything that you would be looking for a midweight survival knife in that. We have a nice clip point here that's going to give it really good strength, but it's really thick, so it's not going to damage your batoning stick if you are batoning with this, but it does give you a little bit better strength than, say, a full flat grind would. So I really like that aspect as well. Good blade length of just a little bit over 6 inches on the knife overall, and good thickness as well. Not too thick, not too thin. And the stainless steel capabilities of 440C and 690, that type of steel I've had a lot of use with, and if it's done by either like European or US companies, I'm very happy with it, and no exception with what I'm seeing in the not only the rust resistance capability but also the edge retention capability, and it's not chipping out and it's not too difficult to work with compared to some other stainless steels out there. The thing to note now, with the convex edge, it's somewhat wide, and so it's it's doing great with the heavier work. But if you're looking for really fine feather sticks and really fine shaving, I did some tuning up with my ceramic rods because of the slight recurve, and I could get it to do okay with feather sticks. Not as well as some of my other knives in this size range. I think I would have to take a lot more time with that and either completely remove the convex edge or do some other kind of tweaking with that. So it's a decent carver. It's not mind-blowing compared to other ones on the market, but it's holding that edge, and it can definitely split and baton and do your basic survival tasks, but you're not going to get like this giant wad of feather sticks. So that is something to consider without doing some reprofiling on the edge itself. But overall, guys, the blade, the materials, the design is performing well for survival knife tasks. All right, we're going to do a 2-for-1 here and talk about not only price, but the sheaths. Now, this setup right here that you see with the leather sheath is the cheapest option at $165. We'll have links over to the Loyal Blades website below, so you can go ahead and check that out. And what you're getting with this setup is a really well-designed leather sheath. They got great stitching, good leg lashings down here, really well done, good quality leather. You got a really large belt loop right there. You have a pocket that comes with a sharpening stone and an Allen wrench to take off the handle scales, and you get a fire steel and a fire steel loop. That's fantastic, really snug in there. And they do have the option to make this ambidextrous, which is great. So you just slide the blade out, good suction in there, kind of sucks the blade into the leather. I like that aspect. And you can even rotate the snap right here and make it for lefties or righties. So I really like that aspect. Totally leather, ambidextrous sheath, and that's going to be your cheaper option. Now for $200, they will ship to you not only the leather sheath, but they'll send you a Kydex sheath as well. Now, to my knowledge and everything that I'm seeing on the site, there's no option to pick either leather or Kydex. You have to either get just the leather at $165 or $200, and you get both. So that's a little odd to me. I would have liked to see more of an option there that I could decide which one I wanted and just keep it at $165 for the leather, $165 for the Kydex. You choose your option. So that's a little odd to me. We'll wrap that up here in just a second when it comes to price. But the Kydex sheath is well done. You know, it's a pancake design. They did a good job with it. Blade Tech lock compatible. It does have a loop that comes with a fire steel, so that's cool as well. So you can keep your fire steel on there. There is no place for the sharpening stone or the Allen wrench, so that's something to consider. Then on the back here, this is not a Blade Tech lock. This is where they kind of skimped. This is a knockoff of some kind. The logo's not there, and it's a lot flimsier, and the plastic isn't quite as high quality. So I can tell that they skimped on that. I would have liked to see that just a Blade Tech lock. If you're going to do it, do it. So that's something to consider. And then finally, the suction is really good. It's really secure in there. And it's almost like a suction. There's really no click. You can see I'm really pulling there to get it out and just kind of like sucks the blade in. So it's a really good, secure fit. But it's not going to like click out and click in. It's more like a suck in and suck out, if that makes sense. So in conclusion, the price $165 is very reasonable for the steel that we're talking about, for the materials, for all the design. In the leather sheath, fantastic. In my opinion, that's the option I would go with because it'll hold the it'll hold the sharpener, it'll hold the Allen wrench, and it'll save you some money. Unless you're really hot to trot about the Kydex, then you're going to pay $35 more for that, which is a great deal for Kydex. But again, maybe in the future they'll tweak that on the website, and you could purchase one or the other and just keep the price the same. So there you go, folks, with this blade, not only in prices, which is reasonable at $165, it's a little steep for $200, and Kydex leather sheath options. All right, the handle on this knife has a lot going on. First, we'll just talk about the ergonomics itself. Now, these are micarta handle scales bolted in. We're looking at about 5.5 inches overall, and then inside the cutouts here, we're looking at about 4 inches. Now, I can get my large size hands in there with plenty of room to spare. Got that nice hook out the back, kind of keep it into place as you're chopping. The micarta has enclosed all that hook. That's really important. I've seen some knives that they just take the handle scale to here, and then you got this big steel hook off the back, and that's just going to dig right in your hand when you're chopping. So this is going to keep it really locked into place. They've done dual lanyard systems, so you could do kind of like that saber guard that we've talked about, like on the Silent Hero, and some of the other knives that we've seen out there on the market, or lash it as a spear. Lots of options there. The back lanyard hole is a hex head, so you could stick a hex designed screwdriver bit, in there and use that as kind of like a screwdriver. So that's cool. And then you got that really nice pommel out the back there, so you could hammer in tent pegs and do all that type of stuff. Now, the micarta is extremely slick. They really machined it like crazy, which means very ergonomic, zero hot spots, very comfortable in just this normal grip. If you're chopping and if you're, choking up and doing the finer tasks, because of how low that thumb ramp is, and the blocky jimping, it doesn't get in the way or cause any sort of pain, and just very comfortable regardless if you're choking up on the finger choil or holding it here. And it has a maximum thickness on the handle of 0.84, so it feels really good and full in the hand, but it's extremely slick. Think of like the Greivery handle scales on a Becker BK7. That's really kind of what it reminds me of. So I would have liked to see a more clothy feel to the micarta. It's very ergonomic, but it's really slick as well. So just take that in consideration. Now, these handle scales have a little hex head driver or an Allen wrench driver that we're going to take a look at, and the knife does come with that. So once you get those handle scales off, they have included inside here what would be wrenches for different size nuts or bolts. On one side, they go from 1/4 inch up to 5/8 of an inch, and on the other side it goes from 5.5 millimeters up to 13 millimeters. So that's a cool added little bonus, added little feature inside there. Am I going to use that on a regular basis? No, but if you are planning on using this maybe as your go-to, bug out bag, survival knife, crap hits the fan, it's nice to have that as a backup inside the handle, and they do offer that as part of the design. Well, folks, time for us to bring this video to a close and give you my final thoughts on the TUSK and how this knife has performed and the concept of stainless steel versus high carbon. And for me, once we've really seen what this baby can do, I love the overall design. I love that they went with stainless steel. Even the design with their sheath, they really thought that through. And there's just a lot to offer in this overall design. And I like the fact that for particularly those of you who live in really humid environments and you like this size of knife, but you're tired of constantly having to babysit the high carbon, the steel that they've chosen with this, as well as just the overall performance, is overall impressing me rather well. And I'm really digging what they have produced, and definitely deserves a spot on the list if you're like, man, I'm looking for that kind of midway survival knife, but I want it stainless steel. There's not a lot out there, and this is definitely something to consider and to take a look at. And I just like what they're doing, and I really hope and wish them the best, in their kickstart and as they begin to hopefully become a company that we'll see more of in the future out of Spain, Loyal Blades. That would be awesome to do, and just the opportunity to check out this first run of knives that they have produced and to show it to you and hopefully help you guys decide, is this a knife that's going to fit inside my system, or the things that I like that I don't, and weigh the pros and cons. That's always what we try to do here and help you build the right systems for you here at the channel. Is this going to fit inside my system? Not just, hey, cool, it's another cool blade, buy it, whatever. But hey, does this fit the theory of use, how I'm going to use this blade, how I'm going to implement it, this pack, this flashlight, whatever. And that's one of the main things we try to do here. And so I hope this video has done that for you and shown you a really standout blade in the sense that it's a stainless steel midweight survival knife. So as always, guys, thank you so much for coming, checking out the channel. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video. Love to hear your thoughts. And as always, remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.